Welcome back to Waco Miniature Games. I'm really excited to let you know that we're going to be finishing our Orc Marauders. That's right, orcs with guns are going to be finished and ready for battle. Almost. We'll still have to base them after this. But today, what we're going to be looking at is we're going to finish painting all the leather straps on their back. We're going to look at their teeth, and we're going to do some dentistry work, making sure that those smiles sparkle and strike fear into the hearts of their enemies. And last but not least, we'll be putting on some grime and dirt onto their guns to give it a little bit of texture and let them stand out. So, without further ado, I hope you enjoy today's episode of Waco Miniature Games, finishing off the Orc Marauders. All right, this next section that I'm thinking about doing, we want to put some extra brown onto the back to create some contrast and some highlights. If I was doing this regularly, I would most likely put several different colors of brown in there because I really like to put the extra many different colors. But if I'm speed painting this kind of, trying to get as much as possible, I'm going to want to put in there one color for most of the things like the straps on the back as well as the packs that you see on the back right here. Now, I'm going to begin with snake bite leather. I want to see if the snake bite leather is going to be dark enough. I haven't figured out yet for sure if it will be. If not, if the snake bite leather does not work out as well, what I'm planning on doing is switching over and using contrast wildwood. This is a much darker paint, but we'll also get those contrasts there. So we're going to figure out which one's going to work. We're going to start with snake bite leather, and we'll jump right in. All right, we're going to start painting right away with our snake bite leather. I got a little bit on there, and I want to run it right down through, and I want to see if it's going to really make that much of a difference. As I'm painting this, I don't see as much of it. Let me try to see if I can get a little bit more on there on the brush and see if a little bit of extra will make more of a difference on it. Oh, I was looking at the screen and came off there for a moment. Let's see if I run those across there. Getting a little bit of a change, but not an awful lot. I think I may end up going ahead and jumping into that wildwood because I think it's going to give me a much greater difference. So let me pause this and go ahead and jump into the other. All right, here we go with the contrast wildwood. You'll see that just a little of this is going to make a huge difference on it. Matter of fact, I'm going to need to make sure that as I put this on, that I wipe enough of it so that you can still see and it doesn't go too dark. Right there. Bring it across a little bit. Give me a little bit of a change in color there. And then on the back of the legs, I do like that contrast that it's giving me. It's definitely a different color on there. All right, I kind of like the way that's looking. And I got that contrast all through there. And let's go ahead and jump to the next one. So here we go. We're going to put some straps on here. Do the backpack as well. Yep, this is a strapping young orc. Painting it on there, get the boots on. Bootstraps. Bootstrap Bill. That's if you've ever watched Pirates of the Caribbean. Checking them out. Gun. Bring out the next one. Run those straps up and down right here. Put a little bit on the backpack there. Run across the two sides. And got to shake up the paint a little bit. Shake it up. Ooh, ooh. Anyway, painting the back of these again.
Putting these stripes on here. I don't necessarily do this on all the miniatures at the end, but it does look good to put the boots on here. Want to make sure that you can see the straps on the back of him, as well as those bags that he's carrying. Who knows what he's carrying in those bags? It makes me wonder, what would an orc need to carry in those bags? Maybe some sort of food, maybe his orcish mom packed him lunch, or could be absolutely nothing at all. Who knows? We can't open them up. Uh, I'm going to actually go with, in my mind, that it's actually strips of meat of some sort ready to eat. It doesn't have to be cooked, doesn't have to be ready. They're orcs. They'll eat just about anything. Maybe it could be straps of leather getting ready for another orc, another orc leather thing there. Just repair any of these things as well. All right, another orc slapping that paint on. It really does look a whole lot better once you start putting those details in there. I love the details. I think the details are a very important part of the whole thing. That's right, putting those details on those boots, putting on the things on the front. It's a little bit difficult to get underneath the guns and to get up in there, but it's well worth it because as people are looking at it, they're going to be able to see. Shake it up again and start on our next miniature. You kind of get used to this H shape going back and forth. The more you do it, the more you're used to it. I really do like the darker color on here. Darker color turned out real well. Wildwood. I often will use it on my bases for Dungeons and Dragons characters, but right here on these legs and right here on the backpacks, they seem to work out very, very well. Now, putting on the straps, making sure that it just highlights it, brings it out, makes it pop. All right, pulling another one out. We still have enough paint on there to put those going across. Once we get all these orcs together, it's going to be a great looking army. I really like the idea of using khakis. I think the khaki with the green of the orc kind of goes together. Not that orcs going into combat really care about matching their clothes, at least not that I know of. It could be a very an orc that's like, I want to make sure that I look the best I possibly can when I go into combat. Nah, I can't blame them. That's what they do best. If it's what you do best, you want to look your best for it. Well, gonna finish this one up here. Getting ready to go back and do the main guy as soon as I finish off these legs. And I'm gonna let myself talk again. I've interrupted myself for pretty much long enough. So go ahead and watch the main guy.
And then he'll be done. And last but not least here, we've got our leader. Our leader we're going to spend just a tad bit more time with. Not because he's more important, but because on the front of his outfit, we're going to actually be able to see more of what he's got. But right here, try to get all of this. And this right here. All right, now, as I've said, he's got some stuff on the front that we got to take care of too. We got all these bullets. I'm gonna run a line of blue right down the middle of those things so that we can see how it's held together. Gonna put a little bit of a strap right here on his arm. Again, so we can see how the bullets are held on there, because bullets aren't just, it's not like he's got some sort of magnetic thing on there. We're going to put a little bit of a color on this one. Need to bring his color on this side and on here. And definitely this pouch. And even a little strap on the arm. Not sure exactly what that strap's doing, but it adds a little bit more color. And on the top of his shoe there, because I see a little bit of white. The back of his shoes. Almost done with this guy. With this portion. Got to put the teeth on him as well. He's a happy toother. I just made that statement up, happy toother. But there we go. And he is looking good and ready to go. Well, we've put all the extra color on the backs now. All 10 of those are done. And basically, I've got about 2 or 3 more steps to go. Some of them unique to some of the specific characters, but we're getting really close to being done. All right, now it's time to do some dentistry work on these guys. They're looking really good, but I'd like to add that little bit of extra by putting a little bit of shine, a little bit of white onto their teeth. So I'm going to use Layer White Scar Citadel Color. I'm going to open that up back here so that I can use it, bend it back so it'll hopefully stay open so that I can work through some of these. And putting a little bit on, I have a different brush. It's a little bit tighter brush on here. So hopefully I can, oh, see right there, I didn't like that. A little bit of wiping though off with my thumb and I'm able to get it in there. A little bit much on that. So fine job trying to get in there. Just getting the teeth. Ah, look at that smile. Right there. That's a smile that will throw terror into enemies' eyes. I do like the smile. So if you look at it, with the smile compared to without, I think the smile adds an awful lot, which is why I'm just taking a few moments here. And I'm going to run down through all of their teeth, making sure that those pearly whites are indeed pearly white.
So getting the teeth in as quickly as I can. I didn't realize I was going for a dentist degree. Actually, it's not an entire dentist degree. I'm not like straightening their teeth. If you look at them real close, you can still see there's some bangs in there and maybe some teeth that aren't quite straight. But what I am doing is I'm whitening them up, making sure that you can see them from a mile away across the battlefield. You look out and you see before you not just orcs, not just orcs with guns, which is pretty cool in its own, but orcs with guns and khakis smiling at you. Not just growling, not just snarling, but smiling. That's gotta sit in the pit of your stomach going, oh my word, why are they smiling? They have no fear. As a matter of fact, they're going to enjoy coming after me. And that is the smile we're looking for.
For comfort. And last but not least, our esteemed leader, who definitely needs to have some teeth as he is commanding and giving out orders to his, I was going to say his men, his people, his orcs. Right there, just a little bit of a smile on him as well. All right, finished off all those teeth now. All right, very quick touch-up job with some antique copper. Usually you'll see it like this if you're coming to my place because I keep them upside down. We've talked about before that these are great paints for metal, but you gotta, oh, it wasn't as nice right there, but you gotta keep them turned upside down so that all of the stuff that makes it metal stays near the bottom is what I found. Does it a lot better that way. Now, the reason I poured some of that out is I need something on the front of these bullets right here. So I'm gonna get a little bit of this and we're gonna run that right down the line of the bullets so that the tips of the bullets have a slightly different color. It's not necessary to do this, but doggone it, it's fun. Again, I'm trying to do these fairly quickly, but I do want them to look good as well. You want your orcs to look all the best for combat that they might be in. And after I've done that, right there, I could, if I wanted to, just kind of put a few more spots on his gun, make it look a little bit more worn, like so that I'm adding a little bit of texture to that gun as well. And while I got it out, I may do that to a few of the others too.
I have to admit, what I'm doing right here is kind of rude to the orcs. Because I'm kind of messing up their guns. You know, they shined them up. They're ready for their orc captain to come look at them. Everyone, present arms! And first they put their hands out and they can just see their arms because they're not real smart. They're orcs and all. But then he goes, no, I mean your guns. And these guns that they've shined up all along, they ping them out, they pull them out, and right there they got all sorts of stuff that looks like rust and grime, and really that's my fault, not theirs. They kept it all nice and shiny. But no, not me. I'm going to make sure that it's all grimy by the time they're seen.
These guys are ready to enter into combat. One more thing that I might be able to do with them, I'm going to do my whole group of them. If I find that it looks a lot better, I may come back and do it on these as well, and I'll film it there too. All right, hopefully you've enjoyed the assembly and painting of these orcs. And so you see here my first group of Orc Marauders painted, ready to go. They're led by their fearless leader right here of their unit. Ready to go and ready to go into battle. Back there we have our heavy weapons guy, and the rest of these guys are just ready to go, rip-roaring, and ready for battle. My first set of Marauders. Now you'll notice they are not based, so therefore I do not have them freestanding, except for a few of the ones in the front there that are able to. But for the most part, these guys are ready to enter in to combat. All right, boys, prepare yourselves. We've got combat ahead of us. We're ready to go, sir. All right.
Yay! I can't wait to get into the fray!
We're not afraid to go into combat today.